Yeah.
Okay, so this is Lou Martin, and I'm on here with my friend and fellow light worker of the first order, my dear friend Tika, Duffy-Uribe. Am I saying that right, Tika?
Right, yeah, Duffy-Uribe.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, great, beautiful. And Tika lives just across the water there from me in the beautiful UK. And she's originally from Colombia, and Tika is just an amazing resource of information. She is totally dedicated, honest to God. I'm going to embarrass her quite a bit here. She's totally dedicated to her light work. We had a great connection last week, and she was good enough to let me bring her on camera here and chat with her for a while. So good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Pleasure. Pleasure.
I hope I could share some information that people might find useful.
I'm sure you will. So why don't you were mentioning your yoga training and your EFT and your work with kids. Can you give us a little background of all that?
Yes, okay. So the background really, I always have these desires since I was very young to work with children, always. But then obviously went to university and went into normal work life, and life just took me to, get married, have children and so on.
Sure.
But in 2009, so it's coming to 10 years ago, I was involved in a road traffic accident on my bike.
Okay.
And that really was my
wake-up call,
gentle push.
Yes.
To really deal with healing myself, my being in all my four bodies, really.
Okay.
And life was going through, I went through also practical life changes. I divorced my first husband. I have two children. They were quite young. They were at the time 4 and 6.
Okay.
4 and 6, 5 and 7 when everything started. And they're now 18. My eldest boy. Then I have a 15-year-old girl, and then I remarried, and I have a little one called Luca, who's 7. So I have a mother of 3 kids, and 2 teenagers and a small child. And when I had the accident, all of that was hitting me in a way.
Sure.
And I found meditation really more than the asana practice first.
Okay.
And because I was a mom of such a small children, I have that strong calling inside me, my heart and my mind, of what I needed to be doing for them and for me. And I have to include them in my practice.
Sure.
So every time I was in my self-discovery of meditation, then I was dealing with them and seeing how I was losing my center, or I was gaining my balance, why I was keeping them as my north, and when was not serving me to keep them as my north, because they were just not really mine. So it was really at that point when I really took spirituality at a different level. I used to read all the books before, and I was very curious before about the religion I was brought up with, but that was my shift. And I just been, for the last decade, really reading a lot, investigating, self-search, and obviously parallel continue to be the best mom I can for them. They're very different. Individually, they're very different souls, very different personalities. And I find growing with them, they're great teachers to me, really are.
Yeah.
So I cannot split the two. By nature, I'm quite nurturing, but I have to work a lot in letting them be and releasing through love and centering myself to allow to have my potential and their potential.
Sure.
So when I say children, they have really been very inspiring to me. And I just love teaching yoga to them. So then I became a yoga teacher for children.
Wow.
And then I realized my physical body really took a shift with healing when I went deeper with me.
Right.
And I thought that yoga really gave me that platform on the mat and off the mat
Mm-hmm.
to really gather myself together. It's a
Sure.
space that I could really connect with my higher self.
Sure, honey. Sure.
So my love is really expanding in that way for the practice.
Right.
And I thought that was the easiest way to still be able to be a mother and a practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
So yoga, meditation, and then I do a lot of EFT, a lot of tapping for releasing, which I just wish I would have known that when I was a teenager, because I was such a strong, really picking up so much energies that did not serve me. And I just didn't know at the time, how could I clear my energetic body?
Sure.
And how could I be less hard on myself when I was growing up?
Right.
So yes,
Yeah.
it's been a long, little bit of a journey to be where I am.
Brilliant, brilliant. Can you tell people who don't know what EFT is about that, what it is?
Yes, I first encountered it, and by the way, all the stuff that I find, I don't go searching on the internet, or it's almost like the information comes to me. I put Hay House Radio, or I go to my acupuncturist, which I see religiously every 5 to 6 weeks. I really take on the treatment with the elements. She does acupuncturist with the 5 elements. And I really respond to that. And I do also cranial osteopath. So I do a combine of those two. I don't really see my GP or anything.
Okay, good.
I just walked into that place and I find a book that takes me to another book and maybe someone online. And it's almost like this unfolding information starts to come my way, more than me going and searching. I need to know what is the key for meditation.
Sure.
How can I do that? And I just go, oh, and sometimes I cannot quite recall when did I start it.
Right.
But EFT came like that.
Okay.
I went to a practitioner's place to have an acupuncturist sort of treatment.
Yeah.
And this lady came out and she left some papers next to me, and then she walked away and came back. Oh, I don't know where I left them. So I remember picking them up and I just saw EFT tapping for anxiety, something like that.
Right.
So I gave it to her and she said to me, oh, are you coming to my workshop? And I said, oh, no, honey, thank you, darling. I'm just waiting for my acupuncturist this way.
Yeah.
He said, oh, right. I thought I saw you before in here. I said, oh, maybe seeing this lady.
Yeah.
And it just, I thought, oh, I always very mindful with my sort of little inner voice and my intuition. I thought, I'm going to look up. So when I left the room, I pick up her brochure.
Okay.
And then I just went and read about it. And then I came across the tapping solution,
right,
which is a project run by 3 brothers, 2 brothers and a sister and a girl,
right,
called Nick Orner and Jessica Orner. Yes.
Yeah.
So they were doing, I think, their 5th or 4th. It was quite a few years back. They just actually done from the 25th of February to last week. It was their number 9, I believe.
Okay.
And oh, that's my phone going.
Okay.
So I did that.
Yes.
I went to their website and I just read about it.
Right.
And got immersed into it, found it myself, did all the reading, and then I started to do my meditations with the tapping. Oh, yeah. Oh, look.
Right.
And how will I describe it is, I think I was already aligned to use it because I was aware of my meridians and my nadis and my prana. Yeah. And I knew that I responded to the acupuncturist treatment. So when I read that, I just resonated. I just went, oh, this makes sense. I could tap in this. And how I understood it was, we need to somehow create new paths through your brain to tell yourself you are well. You could always go back to being well. That life conditions and life contrast doesn't need to leave you stuck in a place of darkness.
Yeah.
So I describe it as that freedom technique of emotional release.
Yeah. Yes. Very good.
And it's really sweet, actually. I find it really calming just to tap on the points and accommodate to the needs on that day, really, or what emotions I'm holding or and then that was it. I did it with my children because their energy is so untouched.
Yes.
They are so connected to their own higher selves.
Right.
That maybe that I find it easier because it's not too much, oh, this is the cat coming.
Yeah.
There she is.
Yeah.
Oh, sweetheart. It's my new friend.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We just rescued her 2 weeks ago. So she's just a new member.
Yeah, very good. I've used EFT a lot myself. And
do you?
Yes, yes. Especially the last few months, because the energies we talked about the other day have just been so
strong.
So strong. Yes, that's a good word for it. Intense is my experience of it. But I liked what you're saying, hon, about growing up as an empath, as a teenager.
Oh yes,
you know, I really hear that. And because you are very empathic and intuitive, can you talk a little bit? You know, it's great for people to hear about you trusting your inner voice. That's one of the things that we're all working on. You know, I raised my hand as well. Yeah.
Sorry, no, I'm with you. She's just being nosy.
Sure, she's being a cat. Yes.
Yeah.
So anything you want to say about any of that would be very welcome, or the cat, either way.
If I get the cat, you know what I'm doing, don't you? Come in here, sweetheart. So I was maybe give you a little bit of background. With that. When I was probably under 10, or maybe a little bit younger, I could remember maybe I have more images, are more around 10, more clear images of what was happening to me. But when I was probably younger, my family, I was forever dancing, going, moving, dancing.
Right.
And I remember clearly, I felt this when I was dancing and I was really happy and joyful.
Yes.
I felt always this, it was always through started on my right shoulder.
Okay.
I felt this warm always with me.
Wow.
And then sort of wrapped me. And the more I giggle a lot when I was very, I giggle now a lot.
Yes,
but
good.
when the giggles came a little bit uncontainable,
yes,
I was really sort of going on that. I felt this heat in a way, getting bigger and whiter, like a little bubble.
Okay, great.
So at first, obviously, I was quite talkative, and I will go and pick maybe a member of my family, and they will always dismiss it, or that's rubbish, or words that were not really
That's rubbish.
Yeah.
Bless them.
So
wonderful.
I think I was born to a family where there were no awakening.
Of course.
Really quite earth that.
Everyone.
And I just felt this warm. And I never really listened to them saying that it wasn't true. I was quite stubborn, quite adamant. If you don't believe me, that's tough.
Sure.
But when you giggle and when you smile, your body gives you this warmth and you feel happy.
Sure.
And obviously I used the language. It was simple like that when I was very little.
Sure.
But what happened was I was very privileged in the family I was born to.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much people know about South America, Colombia. I was born in the 1970s, so 1972.
Right.
And we still have a lot of turmoil politically.
Right.
And in essence, we have a lot of financial differences and inequality.
Sure thing. Yeah.
And I was privileged to be born to a family where I have a good place to live, a good school to go, and health paid for. When I started to really feel the contrast of the other children or the other people outside my, if you like, the family, the status or the part in society I was born to, I felt a lot of resistance inside me.
Sure.
and I felt generally physical pain on me.
Okay.
Actually sends me back. That is still, so I will feel it was my fault that I had a bed and a condominium to drive through to leave, and a school and a bus to take, and food in my plate. So the contrast really hit me. And I have memories when I was 10, when I found quite hard to live there. My country gave me too many opposites and conditions. And I found life extremely unfair. Because I was brought up and I went to a Catholic school, very young, I started to say, no, this doesn't feel like my only life.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Why am I 9, in my little head?
Yeah.
Why am I 9 years old?
Right.
I have a bed and parents and loving parents, and then I go and help in the church with the children that come to get given clothes. And this 9-year-old has just but a hard life. So very early on, I started to query. I was really tough with the nuns. Didn't buy any of those things they were giving me.
I'm sure you gave them a hard time.
And then I started to realize that when I didn't giggle, and when I felt the pain on the 9-year-old child that had a very different life from me in the same country, my warmth left my body. I felt coldness, and I felt lonely, and I felt that pain of duality. And I felt,
amazing.
Why me? Why can I have food in my plate? How can I share this? How can I do that? So I rattle and battle inside my heart. But I now know that then I knew how to connect with my inner self and source. And I knew how to disconnect when I have resistance and I was overwhelmed by the inequalities of the children that were my age, or the parents that were my parents' age and didn't have the possibilities to give those kids basic needs. I knew what my body felt.
That's amazing. What a huge gift that is. I mean, that level of clarity is so unique. Honestly, I'm sure you know that.
Yeah, well, I did get into trouble a lot.
Of course, that's half the fun.
It's quite funny. My family still laugh because I stole a lot. I used to steal food. So the lady that came to the ironing, for instance, she will tell me one day that she had to rush back to her neighborhood to get some food and whatever. And I would just go to the cupboards. Oh, you don't need to stop for that. There is a kilo of rice for you to take. So then my parents will go, did I not just buy that? And I said, it's me. Yeah. What did you do with it? Oh, I gave it to Susanna. So my parents helped me to channel.
Good for you. Good for you.
But I did a few things that were quite naughty. I took clothes for my mom without asking. And I just said, but you have plenty. You haven't even worn this for ages. And I just give it away for the needy. So that's
you're my hero. That's lovely.
9 to 13 or 12. So I used to go for everyone in my condominium. Give me your bikes and your toys and your school books that you don't need, or sorry, she's very nosy. God, you're very nosy. So my parents were quite good at helping me. When they decided that it was a little bit of Robin Hood in the house, they thought, oh, we need to help her to channel that, so I don't feel the need to do it behind their back in a way. I always confess, and I will give a reason, but we have more to preach, or I don't need that skirt, or my brother doesn't need those trainers, and he will shout, yes, I do. So that was how I knew. And the more I share stuff with others, I feel the warmth coming back, and I feel happier and more balanced. That although I wasn't going to provide many families with what they didn't have, I was doing a little bit.
Yes, you did quite a lot. Well, that's brilliant. So let's we had such a great chat about Alison Coe.
Oh, yes.
Inner Earth.
Yes.
And connecting to the great central sun is one of her messages.
Yeah.
I have been doing that for years, I think, just because we were guided to do that. And then you told your story about the 2 trees. Would you like to share any of that today as we come down the home stretch?
Yes, okay. So I was listening to Alison's last 2 videos about
tell people who that is, if you would.
Yes, okay. So this lady called Alison Coe, is that how you pronounce it? Coe. Yeah.
Yes.
This lady is based in the US, in Portland, I believe.
Yeah.
And she does, she followed the practice, I think she was actually trained or got some type of training with Dolores Cannon.
Yes.
So she does sessions with different clients, always with quantum physics, and sort of takes people back through hypnotism.
Yes.
So she does healing through that. And she started to record quite a lot of her experiences when she was taking a client back, and in between lives, she started to actually connect to the higher self of that person.
Right.
Through that higher self, she connected to our universal conscious and love.
Right.
And then tapped in that energy to ask them if there was any information through that client and through that higher self they could share with us all.
Exactly.
So that's basically what she does in her
session.
Well said.
Perfectly said.
Yeah. And sometimes she just gets a few months in and she starts to see a trend, seeing her clients and talking in between their clients' lives when she does.
Right,
so
the theme we might
come
say.
up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I started following her, and I don't really know why. Again, don't have a clue how I bumped into her.
Right.
But she was talking a lot about the new Earth and 5D and 5 dimension and the event of what is going to take place for our current 3D to move into 5D. So she got this sort of recurring topic, and that's how I just went into following her, because it's just riveting information, just beautiful. So that you could follow her. She's really incredible. Any of the people listening to that.
Yeah,
and she's very clear, very, very, very clear. It makes perfect sense how she explains it, and it's just beautiful. So about 10 days ago, she had been quiet for a little while, and she put 2 videos, and she said that in the last 4 months and lately in February, she's been getting these downloads from her clients with regards to this beautiful internal orb that lives inside in the inner earth. And that in order for us to really move our current 3D physical plane through the grids and through what is an inevitable event, what has happened is that internal orb that is in the inside of our planet had a correspondent outer orb that sat on the surface of our planet. And that had been destroyed and doesn't exist anymore. But for us to connect and lift the planet, this one in the surface has to be recreated, ignite, connect, for us to go with the planetary path.
Right.
So
Brilliant.
I heard the 2 videos and I was going, oh my gosh, this is just so lovely. I got giggles. When I giggle, I feel, so I get all giggly and I feel all this warm in my shoulders and something ignites inside you. That was how I sort of felt and recognized that that's my inner.
Truth chills.
So
you know,
I looked at the 2 videos, and following day, I've been walking through this park since 4 years ago, since my little boy started reception. And it's a beautiful, beautiful school grass. I milk it every day, so gorgeous. And there is 2 trees in there that are quite big and quite close together, planted, but they have a little bit of a path through to get through. I could put pictures if you like. And I went and dropped my boy, and in the way back, I always look at them. I've taken pictures of them in the summer, in the winter, in autumn, in spring. I sit in the summer by them. I look up. I love them. I hug them. I don't really notice, or I don't look at what people are doing or saying. I just do it. And I say hello to them, and they're really beautiful. But that day, I remember the inner orb with the light. And I went, oh, because she said, this is the missing piece, that only humans, only us, our being, the human beings on Earth, are the ones that lost their connection to the inner light in the inner orb.
Right.
But nature and animals, they can still feel it and sense it.
Okay.
So I thought, oh, these trees and nature is connected. They could just go and feel that energy.
Yeah.
So I look at them again, and then I went, do you know what? I'm going to do it this time with intention.
Yes.
So I walk through the middle of them, and my arms, I'm quite petite.
Yes.
And with a good stretch, I cannot put my hands into the tree fully.
Right.
But I can put probably my whole fingers and sort of have a little bit of tippy toes, but with my finger toes, hands. So I went for it.
Tippy fingers.
I closed my eyes. I stretched, good stretch, had contact with both of the trees.
Yeah.
And I just told them, just like, like giggling. I just said, oh, I just found out that you are connected to the inner light of our planet, but I'm not. But I so want to be grateful to you for being here and for holding us in this planet.
Yeah.
And by touching you, I just want to feel connected to you, and through that, and just to thank this planet for me just being standing up in here next to you.
Yeah.
So I did it really, whatever, along those words. I was just acknowledging them, like, oh, you get something I don't. You're connected with something is vital for us all to move.
Right.
Just sat in there, completely ignore the path, the side, the dogs that were everywhere.
Yes.
And I just felt this, it was more than warm in my shoulders.
Okay.
It was more this embrace from the tree, this embrace of this beautiful feeling that, you're right, we feel that.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Good.
And I just loved it. So I've been doing it since then.
Wow.
In my way back.
Right.
Because I always go through it with Luca. And he goes, Mommy, your trees, our trees. And he just gets it now. Let's go. We don't do it. He says, we didn't go through the trees today.
Right.
So when I stopped and do it, I do it without him.
Right.
And I've been doing that. And I just thought, why have I not? We do it, don't we? When I meditate in nature, I connect to the river, I look at the sky, and I just feel this delight of all this beauty that we've got.
Yes.
But I've never think of the actual ball of inner light in the center, like an orb.
Yeah.
So I just think it's just amazing that we know that, and just try to do the same, but go deeper. It's like when you do meditations with Steve Novell.
Yeah.
He does amazing transmissions.
Yes.
When it's incredible transmissions.
Yes.
We always follow an anchor through the planetarian Earth grid and the Christ grid.
Yes.
And I do it, but now I do the grid coming from the Earth.
Right.
I actually go right to that orb that I'm imagining.
Yeah. Very good. Me too. I mean, it's definitely helped, and I've been channeling that a couple times and talking about it a little bit. And it's just another wonderful new tool to practice. My guides say the higher you want to go, the more grounded you need to be. So that is our grounding, is connecting with that crystal core at the center of Mother Earth. And then we have our sun, we have the cosmic sun, and then we have the great central sun.
That's right.
So there's a lot of help and a lot of energy and a lot of love and a lot of new ideas that we're blessed to be sharing with people today. It's a joy to connect with you, my dear friend. I think we'll leave it there for the moment, just for our first session. That was perfect. Thank you. For moms who would love your feedback and guidance about working with the energy of their kids, is there a way to reach you for those?
Yes, actually, yes. Oh, I love that. Especially for moms, it's just such a difficult role, really, and beautiful at the same time.
Yeah.
But I could, I have a email that easily I could be reached there.
Yes.
So shall I just say it now?
Go right ahead.
Yeah.
You're fine. Yeah.
Okay, so it's Tika, which is Tika, and then my Spanish surname, which is Uribe, so Uribe.
Okay.
Hotmail.com.
Brilliant, brilliant, wonderful. And of course, you're on Facebook as well, right?
Yes, I am. That's right. Yes.
Okay. All right.
So any questions through Messenger? Yes, I'm happy to. I'm actually experiencing now working with my daughter, which was 15, and I do try to do. She resists quite a bit, but I try to do a lot of tapping for her. Sure. I have both of mine doing exams and just being in planet Earth, going through the education system. Sure. And they have to take these exams, and that's for another topic, a completely different topic. But that creates a lot of uncertainty and the times they came to leave. So yeah, I will be happy to do so, to share.
That's great. That's great. Sweetie, do you know also with the EFT that you can actually just visualize doing the tapping? Yes, I was guided to say that. Yes, because that's wonderful. But yes, if you're in a situation, so this came to me as you're talking about your daughter and tests and such, you can actually just visualize yourself doing the tapping a few times, and that will also have a good effect on. Sure, because like you and me and your beautiful daughter and all that, we're all just trying to calm down over and over.
Yes.
And everything we do that helps us to do that helps us come back to center. And I just Tika, I love you. You're just an amazing inspiration to me, sweetheart.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so glad.
No, thank you for all your help, and you always sending me your messages, your videos, and I'm just trying to juggle it. Oh, I could see this. Oh, I could see that. I'm always juggling. Yes, but you're right. I think it's very hard for me to ground myself. I sometimes, I feel it a lot, even by having 3 children and all the stuff that I do. I do find hard to ground because I connect faster through my upper body and my energy.
Well, yes, that's what I wanted to say to you. Your whole story about giggling and the warmth that you experienced as a child, that was a revelation for me. And again, really, I deeply thank you for sharing all of that with us. Because
that was hard. Sure, it's hard because you want not to be there. You want to escape. Right. You see, that's why. So I probably pull myself out of the situations that gave me pain when I was growing up by distracting myself and dancing. So I always found easier to go higher than ground myself. In a way, I rejected the planet I was.
Sure. Well, you're not alone with that either, honey. I promise you. We all have our judgments, our fears, our resistance. I raised my hand about all of that as well. Yeah. But hon, the great gift of your example and sharing how clear and how open you particularly were as a child. And, that there are some people like yourself here who are just naturally at a very high vibration in this lifetime. And, it's a great gift for those of us that are learning how to raise our vibration or maintain that high vibration, to have such concrete and tangible examples that this is our natural state. That's what I want to say here, that you're expressing that it's very much our natural state. It's when we don't resist, as Abraham says, then everything just flows. And again, wonderful you're to reconnect with you and all your resources. So from my heart to yours, thank you so much for sharing this time with me. And my audience here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll talk again soon. Okay.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you. And excuse the cat. Bye.
And the cat. We'll say love to the cat too.
There she is. Finally slept.
Perfect. Excellent.
Bye now.
Bye for now. Cheers.
Bye.